Hey, what is going on, guys? Nathan here with a Payday 2 gameplay commentary, here playing on Day 3 Firestarter. This is the standard bank mission that completes the Firestarter mission. This is on Overkill. Not quite Death Wish, but it's definitely a difficulty, if that makes sense. And I'm using the Thanatos 50 cal, as you can already see, the Bronco 44 revolver, and the HUD I'm using, which you might notice is a little bit different, is called Hox HUD. You can do a Google search yourself on how to acquire this HUD, but basically it just shows you extra information that Payday 2 keeps track of, but doesn't show the player, such as with Hox HUD you can see enemies' healths. So, for example, a bulldozer or black bulldozer or skull bulldozer, you can see how much health they have remaining, which is definitely useful on Death Wish missions, to know, is this dozer halfway down health? Can I take him on in a 1v1? Do I need my teammates to assist me? But with the Thanatos 50 cal, it's usually not a problem. A Thanatos 50 cal will 3-shot a skull dozer in the head, which is kind of what I want to talk about today, just kind of DLC in general. Well, not really, yeah, sort of DLC in general, but I wanted to talk about, like, the reason why I'm even playing this game, and I gotta hand it to, well, I have to shamefully admit why I'm even playing this game. It's solely because of the new DLC. I've just found this game to be a lot more fun with the new snipers that were introduced. That was the first DLC I got for this game, which was, I believe, yesterday or 2 days ago, and I just kind of splurged in a split-second purchase and got the rest of the DLC besides armored transport. So now I have grenades and all that fun stuff. But I have to kind of tip my cap reluctantly to the developers over at Payday for being able to bring back not only me, but possibly other players, solely for their DLC, which I think they have a good DLC price point. I think that different weapons should be worth around, $5. Like, certain games sell, like, map packs for, like, $15. I think Call of Duty does something like that, which that's not worth it to me personally, but I will definitely pay up $5 to get access to sniper rifles in this game, which snipers are hands down the best weapons in this game at the moment, especially on Death Wish. Actually, okay, so probably on the harder difficulties, they're the most powerful weapons, because they can one-shot enemies, like any enemy besides dozers. Just a regular dozer is a 2-shot, and a black bulldozer is a 3, and I think a skull dozer is a 3. But anyway, the reason that they're so powerful is because they can one-shot any single enemy in the head, which for me, getting headshots is like so ridiculously easy. If you can't hit headshots, then you need to practice a lot more. But basically, yeah, it's really powerful, and the only downside to it really is that you don't have a lot of ammo, which is actually why I recently switched skill trees. So now I put a lot more points into Enforcer instead of Mastermind, because I used to be, like, obsessed with pistols in this game for some reason. Well, mostly because the Bronco 44 revolver used to be the most arguably the most powerful weapon in the game, because it had such high damage. It has, like, the highest damage in the game, besides the shotguns maybe. But now with the sniper rifles, I switched skill trees to Enforcer, so now I have a lot more health, a lot more armor, and a lot more ammo. So I'm basically a tank damage dealer, which is pretty much overpowered in most situations. And I mean, this weapon is built for long range, and it can hit short range as well. You just have to obviously aim a little bit. But in terms of all sniper rifles, the Thanatos is actually not my favorite, although it is the best at higher difficulties. I'm actually, my favorite so far is the Rattlesnake, which the main reason for that is because you get so much ammo off of the beginning, and it has a 10-round magazine, and I think on normal, hard, and maybe very hard, I'm not sure about very hard, it is a one-shot for almost all enemies besides, like, dozers, again. So I'm a huge fan of that, And I also like the R93. The R93, when I first picked it up, reminded me a lot of the Black Ops days of quickscoping, back when I used to play a lot more of that game, because, I don't know, something about the way the scope is brought up just makes me reminisce so much about that other L96. But no, this is the R93, and I think it's my least favorite, like, not visually. Visually, it's one of my favorites, but in terms of performance, it is probably one of my least favorites because it doesn't have the ammo that the Rattlesnake has, and only a 6 magazine, which is kind of a downer as well, but mostly because of its damage. It is basically a more powerful version of the Rattlesnake. It's got 80 more damage, and and a 6 magazine, which is a 4 decrease from that 10 magazine on the Rattlesnake. But what I'm most disappointed about on the R93 is that it doesn't have any attachments which really improve its stats in the areas that I would like. It has a suppressed barrel, I think, which can be used for stealth, and I think it has some stability or concealment bonuses for certain barrels or attachments, which I don't like that at all. I want accuracy and I want damage, and the Barrett 50 cal has a barrel that gives improved accuracy, which I got immediately because I know how valuable it is for that increased accuracy when you're taking your shots. And I think the Rattlesnake has either an accuracy bonus or a damage bonus on one of its barrels as well. So, just kind of having a stock R93 is kind of a downer. I'd like to have some useful attachments for it. But yeah, so I don't really use the R93 much, mostly to just mess around when I know that the mission I'm on is not very serious. So yeah, I've been having just a blast with sniper rifles in this game. I see no reason either to buy sights for these weapons, being the scopes you get by default on the sniper rifles are you can't get any better, really. And if you have, I think it might be in the mastermind skill tree, but if you get the perk where you can zoom in 25% farther with assault rifles and I think sniper rifles as well, it makes the experience a lot better as well. So I would highly suggest that. And snipers are super fun. I think out of the last 20 missions or so I've played in this game, I got the highest body count in probably 75% of them. So that kind of tells you how good these snipers are. Yeah. So besides the sniper DLC, I also picked up the rest of the DLC. I got a chance. I tried out the new shotguns for, I think, 2 or 3 missions. Not really a fan, just because shotguns require you to be, like, in order to be effective, obviously with shotguns you have to be right next to the enemy, and in this game that really doesn't work, because if you want to be close to the enemy, that means you're going to be close to 5 more enemies, and if you're close to 5 more enemies, you know that you're going to be dead in a very short amount of time. So to me, shotguns don't really work in this game very well, and I suppose I'm kind of, being a hypocrite because on the screen right now it's super close quarters combat, but like the sniper even excels where shotguns excel as well. Like the snipers can do more damage in close quarters and long distance, and shotguns do less damage in close quarters and cannot even do anything at long distance. So I just think the sniper rifles blow everything out of the water. And besides that, I also picked up the light machine guns, which the only one I've tried out is the Bernhardt or something. It's Burn something. It's the 3rd machine gun, and the reason I bought that over the other 2 is that it has the best damage and a very decent ammo count. And I just kind of tried some missions, not really trying hard with that weapon. And it's fun, but it's not effective at all. Like, it has 33 damage. Like 150 magazine, and it requires you to basically just spam it into different guys in order to be effective. And I found that it's kind of decent for melting people. You tend to take a lot of fire with it because you have to stand there and just keep pumping rounds into guys while you're possibly out from cover, which, you know, once again, in comparison to the sniper rifles, you can just sit under cover and pop people off all day long. You know, it's just, sniper rifles are so powerful. And I think, you know, I think most people actually do run the Thanatos in Death Wish just because it's kind of a must. It's almost like a meta where, like, because basically if you don't have the Thanatos, you can't melt tanks or bulldozers, skulldozers, whatever. I tend to call them tanks because I'm used to League of Legends speak, or multiplayer online battle arena speak, not necessarily League of Legends in particular, but if you can't melt tanks, then you are not as much of an asset to your team, and if you can't one-shot people, you are definitely not getting as many frags as other people on your team. So it's all kind of about pulling your own weight, or I don't know, maybe that's just me, because I like deathmatching more than actually completing missions in this game. So whenever there's a mission where somebody needs to pull security while the other guys, like, take the money bags or whatever, I'm usually the guy who pulls security because, I don't know, I just prefer it a lot more. It's just a lot more action-y. And I think that's pretty much it. I'm glad I now have grenades. I don't know, I feel weird talking about DLC that was released, like, 6 to 8 months ago. Because like everybody's had it for so long, and it's almost like, you know, part of the default game for some people. But for me, it's nice having grenades now, because on the very first day of, like, Watch Dogs, for example, I can just chuck 2 nades out of the truck while everybody's being fired upon, and all of a sudden there are no more enemies. So I don't know, I am a big fan of that, and one of the main things I'm grinding for right now in this game is getting the Gauge Courier packages, and almost the only reason I got the Gauge Courier DLC was so that I could put a scope on my Bronco 44 revolver and my Deagle, and I'm looking forward to that. I cannot wait to have a scope on my revolver so that I mean, obviously, I can snipe people with iron sights from across the map in a map like this. If I'm going really across the map, it's hard, but you can do it. But with a scope, that would make everything so much easier. And yeah, I don't know. Just having a scope on a pistol is always amazing. Like, it was kind of strange, but you could actually run, way back in the day in Black Ops, you could run an ACOG 44 Magnum, or whatever the revolver was in that game, and you could actually do well with that as long as you could aim. So I'm hoping for that sort of same experience with putting a scope in my revolver here, and yeah, so now also, I think with a Gauge weapon pack 2, I want to say, or no, it was just a skill tree respec. But now I have the super suit, which I am so happy about, because I never noticed how much more armor that the full iron suit has versus the maximum one that regular people have. It is 10 armor short of having double the armor of the very heavy suit that only normal people can use. So the normal people armor has I think a 90 armor rating, and this new one has 170, and that is crazy. That means literally I can take double the shots, and if my skill tree also has like plus 25% armor as a passive, so I can take so many shots before my armor goes out, and that is more important than health, in my opinion, because your armor can regenerate while your health cannot. So having good armor is so imperative in this game, especially when you have enemies that can four-shot you when you're out of armor, because that's pretty much how Magnum Cops work. Magnum Cops suck a lot. And that's pretty much all I have to say for today, guys. So we pretty much wrapped up this mission. We managed to get a bag of gold, which was huge. Look at that, 236,000, I think. That was actually a money bag, but the gold bag rewarded like 326,000, I think. And that money's huge. I was so happy with this, mainly because I just joined off of day 3. Like, I didn't have to go through day 1 and 2. But I think that's pretty much where I'll wrap up this video, guys. And yeah, feel free to leave a rating on the video, and I will see you all later. Oh, and by the way, this video is actually in 1600 by 900 resolution. It may say 1080p, but this is going to be one of the first kind of quality upgrades, going from 720p to eventually up to 1080p. But if you switch the video to 1080p, it should be 1600 by 900, which I probably should have said this at the beginning of the video. But whatever. I'll have to mention it in upcoming videos. So anyway, I'll see you guys later.